Without objection, so ordered.
Why are you lying to this committee? That is the top law enforcement officer in your state who's saying he will not comply with the federal government. You think that helps calling our law enforcement agents that, what does ICE stand for, Governor? Immigration, custom, enforcement, right? These are the guys that are tasked with enforcing immigration, federal immigration laws.
That's right, that's their job. It's not the state's job.
You think that calling them Gestapo is helping? You're not standing in the way. None of the messaging, none of the rhetoric is standing in the way of this administration doing what they've been tasked to do. Is that what you're saying? And it's because you talk like the way you do, you say the things you do, and you have this radical left-wing ideology. So if you want to continue that rhetoric, go on, brother. Keep doing it.
Oh boy. This hearing wasn't a hearing, it was a political barbecue, and Governor Tim Walz was the one getting grilled. The congressman didn't just ask questions, he torched every single talking point Walz tried to hide behind. I mean, if political smackdowns were an Olympic sport, this guy just won gold. Stick around because it only gets hotter from here.
Chair now recognizes Mr. Crane from Arizona.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Governor Walz, you stated in your opening statement the following: but nothing Minnesota has done stands in the way of federal government managing its border security policy.
Okay.
Governor, I want to ask you, why are you lying to this committee?
I am not.
Who's the top law enforcement officer in the state of Minnesota?
The top law enforcement officer? Yep. Attorney General.
Yeah, that's right. What's his name? What's his name?
Are you asking me, do you know his name?
Do you know his name? Do you know his name?
I know the AG Ellison.
This is an article right here I'd like to submit for the record. Minnesota AG says will not enforce federal immigration laws as DOJ threatens to prosecute officials who resist.
Without objection, so ordered.
Why are you lying to this committee? That is the top law enforcement officer in your state who's saying he will not comply with the federal government.
Nothing in his opinion changes the fact that state law requires all state and county officials to ask for immigration status when a convicted felon is committed.
I'm sorry, Governor. He is saying he will not comply with federal laws. That's your top law enforcement officer. You're lying and misrepresenting yourself to this committee. Now I want to ask you this. Do you think in that line of questioning, free health care, food assistance, free college tuition, driver's licenses, and cash assistance, do you think that that's helping or hurting this government manage its border security and policies?
Well, Minnesota ranks first in health care. We rank third in safety on our roads.
Let me answer that for you. Okay. It's actually hurting because what you've created
my state safer and more prosperous.
Created a state that is now a magnet that is drawing illegals
There is no sanctuary
to
law
Minnesota.
In Minnesota, Congress.
I know you guys haven't put it that way on the books, but your state has everything, every element in it that is consistent with the sanctuary state.
That's
Moving
incorrect.
on, Mr. Walz. How about you calling ICE agents modern-day Gestapo? That also stands. Do you think that helps our federal government carry out its law enforcement?
I think best practices in law enforcement
policies?
by identifying who you are, identifying the vehicles, and making sure everyone has due process helps our law enforcement. I think covering your faces.
So you think that helps calling our law enforcement agents that? What does ICE stand for, Governor? Immigration, custom, enforcement, right? These are the guys that are tasked with enforcing immigration, federal immigration laws?
That's right. That's their job. It's not the state's job.
So you think that calling them Gestapo is helping? You're not standing in the way. None of the messaging, none of the rhetoric is standing in the way of this administration doing what they've been tasked to do. Is that what you're saying?
I think what would help them is to follow due process, and when they do these missions, do the things that we expect of law enforcement.
How about when you went on Anderson Cooper, Governor Walz, and you said, how high is this wall? If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in a 30-foot ladder factory. Do you think that helps our federal government carry out its law enforcement, its border security and policy operations?
When did I say that?
You went on Anderson Cooper and said that. Do you not remember saying that? Because you've said so many outlandish things that you can't even keep track of them?
The point being is
the clip is there for everybody. It's there for all Americans. If you guys want to go watch it, it's an easy Google. All right, Governor, you recently went on Gavin Newsom's podcast. You stated in regards to MAGA voters, I scare them a little bit, which is why they spend so much time on me. No, I'm serious because they know I can fix a truck. That's your direct quote. You also said on the show, I think I could kick most of their asses. I want to be very clear with you, Governor. You do scare us a bit, but it's not because you can fix a truck or change a tire. It's actually because of your radical left-wing agenda. You supported Putting tampons in boys' bathrooms. You advocated for the disarming of Americans of their Second Amendment rights. You're pro-sanctuary city, as we have uncovered here today. You claim there is no guarantee to free speech when it comes to misinformation and hate speech. That right there is why the American people have such a hard time with you. It's not because we're crazy MAGA people. It's because of your radical left-wing agenda. I want to ask you on that last one where you claim there's no guarantee to free speech. Did you pick that up on one of your 30 trips to communist China, Governor? That sounds a lot like something that they would do. Yes or no?
So I don't believe hate speech
Okay.
has a place in there. Hate speech that incites violence.
Governor Walz, you said that Kamala Harris picked you for vice president to code talk to white guys. How did that work out for this administration? How well did you do with white guys?
I don't have the
You
data.
lost by 22 points to white guys. And it's because you talk like the way you do, you say the things you do, and you have this radical left-wing ideology. So if you want to continue that rhetoric, go on, brother. Keep doing it. We'll keep destroying you in elections.
And the
Thank you,
people
and I
in
yield back.
The congressman didn't waste a second. He looked Walz dead in the eye and said, "Governor, why are you lying to this committee?" And Walz's face, pure confusion, like a student caught cheating who suddenly forgot his own name. Then the congressman dropped the receipts. Minnesota's attorney general refuses to enforce federal immigration laws, proof that Walz's "we're cooperating" claim was total nonsense. He asked, "Who's the top law enforcement officer in Minnesota?" Walz stuttered, like a man trying to reboot mid-sentence. The congressman just smiled and said, "Yeah, that's what I thought." Boom. Round 1, KO. Next, the congressman hit Walz with a list that sounded more like a luxury benefits package than a state policy. Free healthcare, free tuition, free driver's licenses, even cash assistance, all for people who broke the law to get here. He said, "Governor, you've turned Minnesota into a magnet for illegal immigration." Walz tried to talk about healthcare rankings, as if that was going to save him. The congressman shut him down faster than a bad Wi-Fi signal. "You've built a sanctuary state without even calling it that." At that point, you could almost see the smoke rising from the witness table. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for. The congressman leaned in and said, "Governor, you called ICE agents modern-day Gestapo. You think that helps law enforcement?" You could practically hear the collective "oh no he didn't" from the audience. Walz started mumbling about due process and best practices, but it was too late. The damage was done. The congressman snapped back, "They're enforcing federal law, not running a spy agency." If looks could kill, Walz would have called for security right then and there. Just when you thought it couldn't get any funnier, the congressman brought up Walz's old CNN joke. "If Trump builds a 25-foot wall, I'll invest in a 30-foot ladder factory." He smirked and said, "Governor, how's that ladder business doing now that the border's a disaster?" Walz looked like he wanted to disappear under the desk. Then, the congressman hit him again. "You mock border security, you insult ICE agents, and now you claim you're not standing in the way. Please." The crowd, silent, except for a few chuckles that probably came from the Republican side, and then came the knockout punch. The congressman quoted Walz's own words from Gavin Newsom's podcast, "I scare MAGA voters. I could kick most of their asses." The congressman laughed and said, "Governor, the only thing you're kicking is your own approval rating." Then he listed it all: tampons in boys' bathrooms, anti-gun policies, and limiting free speech in the name of hate speech. He even joked, "Did you pick that censorship idea up during one of your 30 trips to communist China?" The audience couldn't help it. A few chuckles broke out. Even Walz couldn't fake a smile at that one. The congressman closed with a hammer blow. "You lost white voters by 22 points because of your rhetoric and radical agenda. Keep it up, and you'll keep losing." That was it. The end of the road for Governor Walz's excuses. The hearing wasn't just fiery, it was a political inferno, and Walz walked right into it with a can of gasoline. If you enjoyed watching that meltdown as much as I did, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and stay tuned, because this political season, the grill is always on, and the Democrats just keep volunteering for the roast.